Are you ready and prepared to share a simple, concise explanation of the gospel?
Are you able to share your testimony convincingly in just 2 minutes?
They triumphed over Satan
They triumphed over Satan
by the blood of the Lamb
by the blood of the Lamb,
and the word of their testimony.
word of the testimony.
Revelation 11:12.
Revelation 11:12.
The declaration of truth, the declaration of the gospel of truth, is the front lines of spiritual warfare, and your testimony, what God has done in your life, plays a huge part of that.
The great thing about when you share your testimony, it has such a powerful impact because it's truth, and people will just go and say, "Is that real?" And you say, like the man born blind. All I know is this: I was blind, but now I see. I was lost, but now I'm found. And that's the power of the testimony, because you can't say, "Oh no, you're lying." No, you're telling the truth. You're
That's right.
speaking it out.
Yeah, people will try very hard to refute what you believe, but they can't refute what you've experienced. And so that's why testimony is so powerful. I just remember seeing recently a few posts on Facebook, 5 different posts on this one site, and 2 of those were teaching, and 3 of them were testimonies. The 2 teachings had some really negative feedback on there, but it's interesting that the testimonies didn't, because people will try to refute what you teach, but they can't refute what you've experienced. People's minds are so full of lies and darkness, things that they've believed for many years, many decades, and when we bring a clear gospel presentation, something resounds in that message with what's already in them, their spirit. God, it says in the word that God has written the law on their hearts. It's been covered up by all those lies and stuff, and through the illumination of God's word, the declaration of the gospel message, those people can start that journey. And sometimes it can go very quickly from that place of complete darkness where without right at that moment when you're sharing with them, they'll receive Jesus.
And I also find when you give your testimony, if your spirit is free, you have such authority, and people, they step back. Wow, did that really happen? And when you are alive, when your spirit is free, kapow, there's energy, there's life, and it speaks directly to situations. So it's such a great way to crush evil.
Today's response challenge, go ahead and consider these verses, consider those questions, and write out a few thoughts and share those with your warrior brother. And today's physical challenge, I'll put some notes down below. Go ahead and learn a simple gospel presentation so that when a friend comes to you, when a person at work asks you, you can be ready. It says in 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 15 to be prepared and ready to give an answer to anyone who asks you about the hope that you have.
And it says, do it with gentleness and meekness.
There you go. So I encourage you, today's physical challenge is to prepare something, get ready, and actually practice it with your Christian friends. Practice it with your friends and say, hey, this is how I'm sharing the gospel message. Does this sound good? And get feedback. I recommend that you do it within 1 minute or 2 minutes. And sometimes it's really good to use a diagram or something. So we're going to put a few ideas, suggestions down below. Check those out and practice giving a gospel presentation.
And here's the second challenge is to be able to share your testimony in just 2 minutes. You know, you think, I could never do it, but try and think, what are the things that will really engage that person, and be able to say it in such a way that the authority, the truth of it just speaks, and pray that God would give you an opportunity to use it, to speak it out, to share it with someone.